Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here at the Skift Global Forum in New York City for a great conference the last 2 days. And part of that conference, there's been some reports issued by Skift, which is what they do. They do great research reports on the travel industry. And basically, there's one report that just came out recently on luxury travel, which of course we know is a huge interest there for the travel advisor community. And I'm here with Varsha Arora, who's one of the research directors at Skift, and we're going to spend a little time talking about their findings on this report on luxury travel here. And you'll find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Varsha, first of all, it's great to meet you here. It's been a great conference, and we did talk to one of your colleagues about AI, artificial intelligence, which obviously is a sort of the topic du jour here. But one of the other topics that everyone wants to know about is luxury travel. And you recently got a new luxury travel report out for Skift. What were kind of your findings about what's going on in the luxury space?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me here, James, and it's lovely to meet you as well. So we did this sort of a survey to come up with our findings. So because obviously luxury is too niche and we've been hearing a lot about it through the pandemic, but we thought it's a good idea to reach out the audience and ask them about what they feel. So it's sort of a survey report based on analysis from around 550 respondents. And we're talking about obviously HNWIs. We only sort of targeted audience with high household income. And when we talk about the findings, I think there are a couple of highlights.
Okay.
Let me just sort of give you a summary and then we can talk about it in depth if you need. So one is that next year is going to be a boom year for luxury travel.
Which is good news.
Which is very good news. I think in that sample size that I'm talking about, around 80% of them want to do luxury trips next year. And the travel budget is going to increase further.
We've already had a couple of good years now.
Exactly.
That's it.
And around, if I'm not wrong, obviously we can check the report, but I would say around 70 to 80% again of that segment said that we'll be increasing our travel budget, which is again a very good thing. Then I would say the move from domestic to international is very interesting. So this year, there was a lot of focus on domestic luxury.
Which came, I think, right after the pandemic. There was a lot of focus on domestic travel, and then we kind of eased into much more international. You're saying it's going to be even more now, right?
Yes. So it's going to be clearly, there's going to be a clear move from domestic to international next year for sure. Because if you look at the destinations in the last 12 months, there were 80% trips which are happening in the domestic destinations, California being the top destination for luxury travel. Now, next year, again, like a very big chunk, around 70% is wanting to go international and not domestic. So, I mean, that's one highlight. Then, blended travel was another highlight of the report. So what we have...
Bleisure or whatever, the famous Bleisure thing. Right?
Yeah, so our CEO has asked us not to use the Bleisure.
Yes, right. He's a ban on Bleisure, right?
Yes. So we have learned it the hard way and we're using blended travel as the term. So what we've done in this report is we have sort of created segments within the HNWIs also. So if I talk about the highest income group, which is $500,000 and more, 100% of them, I mean, all of them want to do blended trips.
Okay.
So, I mean, I was surprised to look at that kind of data because, I mean, with such travelers, you seem to believe or you hypothesize that, okay, they will just go for a trip whenever they want. They don't need a business motive to turn it into vacation. But it just so appears that all of them want to take blended trips. Mm-hmm. And there's a very big change in psyche with respect to what they want out of it. So, for example, with respect to the mode of transportations they use, the on-ground transportation that they use, there's a lot of change. They don't want to take limousines anymore. They want to go for a walking tour maybe or culinary experiences. So it's all, if you go through the report, there is so much qualitative change that's happening around the experiences. But sadly, one sort of a negative that I would want to sort of highlight is the sustainability bit.
Okay, what is that? What? So they're not focused on sustainability?
Yes. So there's a big say-do gap, like a big say-do gap. So we do these US traveler surveys, which caters to the entire gamut as such, but. And in that particular report, we have been seeing that they focus on sustainability. But if we only talk about this niche segment, there's a big difference in what they say and what they do. So there are a lot of statement questions that we ask this audience around, how do you deal, how important is sustainability for you when you make your travel decisions? And sadly, it was the lowest percentage that you would see in the report, which is around...
For luxury travelers, amazing.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So that's something which sort of struck me, that you would expect this group to actually invest and be conscious about.
Well, it's interesting because I go to Virtuoso conferences and they're really focused on sustainability, and they've tried to inculcate that. So their travel advisors are telling their clients, you really try to be sustainable. So you're finding maybe not so much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a big say-do gap, and if you attended the Breeze Airways session yesterday, and he mentioned it in very curt words, but that's actually very true. There's a lot of fluff when it comes to sustainability, and when I see the results from the survey, I know, this is a survey and our sample size is not too big, but maybe there is scope to probe more and just see what can we do. Maybe the hotels are not marketing it the right way, or the people are potentially not wanting to spend extra here. I don't know what. We talk about
greenwashing, and that's what's happening now. And no, I agree. A lot of people still, they want their luxury, and they're maybe not so caring about it. Maybe we can get them to a point. I thought in the sense of more experiential, and they want to be involved with the communities and local and learn that a little bit more. That maybe we'll get there instead. But in terms of actually worrying about whether a hotel is use sustainable practices, or a cruise ship, for example, and there's a lot of focus now on cruise ships being sustainable, right?
Yeah. So there are questions that we ask around the guiding factors that people take into account when they're choosing a hotel or a flight, for that matter. And if you compare the US travel tracker, which is again like the entire population sample that we take, versus luxury, sustainability comes much lower for the luxury travelers as a guiding factor when they're sort of booking their flights or booking a hotel. So that just shows the difference. It might just be that the middle income or the lower income groups are more conscious, more sustainable in their approach when they're traveling. So, that's the gap I think we should be addressing.
So basically, the sort of the three takeaways from this report. One, luxury is looking really good for next year. There are going to be more luxury travelers. Two, this blended travel. That we're going to see more of. And then three, maybe that luxury travel isn't as focused on buying because of sustainability, right?
Yes, totally. And just like one little data point again on sustainability bit, because that was the main highlight for me. So there's a question that what modes of transportation do you use? And private jet, it's a small segment, of course, it's a high income thing, but around 3 to 4% of them use private jets and private yachts. And in the private jets, there's further a question which says, do you think about the sustainable aspect of it when you're, planning to take a private jet rather than a commercial flight? And majority of them said no.
Okay.
So,
well, I think if you're going on a private jet or a private yacht, you're not going to be thinking about the sustainability of it first. Maybe someday we'll get there where the private jet is more sustainable and they're using biofuels and things like that. But I don't think we're there yet.
We're not at all there yet. That's what the findings show. So, in summary, I think these are the highlights. And I would really recommend for you to, and whoever is listening to this, to read the report, because there's a lot of insights in it.
Well, let's talk about where can they go find the report that you've done.
So you can go to the Skift Research website and just type luxury in the search box. It's actually the most recent report that we have filed, so you can actually see it on the
home. So go to the website, learn about what Skift's found on this luxury travel and these points that Varsha is talking about. Very interesting survey, and it's been a very interesting conference. I have to tell you, I haven't gone to all of these, but this is one of the first. I've been back for a while, certainly before since COVID, and it really has been a fantastic couple of days, meeting a lot of people that I don't normally meet in the space, including you and everything else. And it's been great to see all the recent trends that you're finding, whether it's AI or in luxury travel. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. And we got a couple more hours here in the thing, and then we're done. But hopefully I'll be back next year. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you for having me.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.